Indie games that aim to marry retro aesthetics with modern elements often bring players the best of both worlds. Retro charm can have multi-generational appeal when spruced up with some modern gameplay mechanics and quality of life features. Hello everyone, and welcome to I Dream of Indie Games, where today our subject is the retro action-adventure title Bloodless. Let's find out if Bloodless brings us retro charm with modern polish, or retro jank hidden under a modern disguise. Real quick, don't be a part of the bloodshed that's taking place in games media. Head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames and you'll gain Discord access and early and ad-free shows. Thank you so much for all that you do for independent content. Developed by Point and Sheep and published by 3D Realms, Bloodless is an action-adventure game where players will control the Ronin Tomo, a former samurai who returns to her feudal Japan-inspired fictional homeland of Bakugawa. Early in life, her proclivity for bloodshed earned her the nickname of Tomo the Slasher. Having been deemed a coward and a traitor when she abandoned her role as a samurai and left Bakugawa, she now faces a great deal of hostility from the people and has become a target for assassination from multiple factions upon her return. Burdened by guilt for the lives she stole, Tomo vows never to kill again. Bloodless melds story and gameplay seamlessly. The suspense of the story and tension of the combat add immense immersion to Tomo's struggle. As you might have guessed, combat is a massive aspect of the gameplay here, and it usually features face-offs with multiple enemies from all directions, with environmental hazards to be equally considered. Navigating these obstacles is going to be crucial as enemies attempt to corner you or knock you into damaging hazards. Thankfully, traps can be used to your advantage as impromptu cover or as a way to lure enemies to their death. Tomo's combat skills fall into three categories: a dash to evade or parry certain attacks, key attacks that can reduce an enemy's stamina, and a special key attack that requires the use of lotus petals, which are acquired through defeating enemies or using a consumable item. The dash consumes stamina, but will also be your main skill in combat. A white or red flash above enemy attacks indicates whether they can be parried or not. Here's the thing though, getting the timing right is crucial because a successful parry is the most effective way to take down opponents. If you don't like parrying, this probably isn't the game for you. Enemies might also attack in combos, where some attacks flash white and others flash red, so learning enemy patterns is crucial for success. Now for those key attacks, well, they're useful when an opponent leaves an opening for you to go on the offensive, and are most effective against smaller enemies with lower stamina. Once an enemy's stamina has been depleted, it will be stunned for a few seconds and can be taken down by dashing into it. Special key attacks will have a much bigger range and consume lotus petals when used, so they are best reserved for more difficult moments when they can reduce the stamina of multiple enemies when you're being swarmed. Your lotus petal resource will gradually fill up when defeating enemies, but certain kinds of brewable teas can instantly refill them during a battle. You will get multiple containers in which you can store tea, and each will differ in the amount of tea they can hold. The items required to make tea can be found while exploring or purchased from merchants you encounter in towns, who will also sell accessories to boost stats, give new abilities, or provide perks like quicker healing mid-combat. Idols found through exploration or purchased from merchants give you access to arena battles where money can be earned from defeating the enemies. There is no penalty for losing arena battles, and the items you consume during combat in those battles will not be lost when you return from them, so they're a good form of practice to learn enemy patterns and improve your attack countering skills. The combat in Bloodless is relentlessly difficult, but the smooth mechanics make it more of a steep learning curve than an excuse for a lot of cheap deaths. You will die a lot as you learn, but improving will instill a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction when you discover that what once seemed like an overwhelming adversity is actually manageable. You'll really need to master using the dash as both a counterattack and an evasive maneuver while constantly remaining vigilant of your stamina if you plan to make it very far in this game. The presentation in Bloodless successfully combines the old with the new, taking its visual aesthetic from 1980s home computers with more modern-looking text and higher quality audio. The look mostly sticks to a darker color palette with a black background, and the soundtrack is a great fit for feudal Japan. Both the look and sound of the game create a minimalistic and gloomy atmosphere that's fitting for the story. While some action-adventure games aim for the vibe of an exciting adventure, that wouldn't be fitting for the story that's in Bloodless. Instead, it feels both melancholy and tense, a reflection of Tomo's journey to do the right thing while facing numerous foes along the way. That gloomy look and feel is a much better match for this story, and as you continue to improve your skills, it will bring about a feeling of hope that Tomo might have the strength and will to succeed. While my descriptions of the gameplay might sound like complaints to some viewers, my experience with Bloodless was quite positive overall. The difficulty is intense, but it's also a lot of fun to get better and overcome the challenges presented, so I had a great time with it. While this isn't something I would recommend to casual gamers because of that steep learning curve, I highly recommend it for those who appreciate a stiff challenge. Bloodless provides an engaging experience with challenging and fun combat, a badass elderly protagonist, an interesting premise that I enjoyed where her determination to keep a vow is at odds with all of the violence around her, and some interesting and eccentric characters who provide a bit of comic relief to the otherwise tense atmosphere. Here at I Dream of Indie Games, we use an award system to indicate the quality of a game, with a bronze genie being a good game, a silver genie being a great game, a golden genie being an absolutely essential game, and of course we have that pesky indie Krampus for those games we don't like talking about. But with all of that said, I gladly award Bloodless a Silver Genie for providing a strong action-adventure title with well-implemented mechanics that will satisfy fans of the genre looking for a challenge. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and become a member over at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames for all those wonderful perks. Voice to the Voiceless, we'll see you for the next review.